She said, put it in. So, shawty come now, let it rain down.
Hey y'all, I am Dr. Aset.
And I'm Dr. Parks.
And we are here to do Parks and Rec, Road to 10K Like Minds. Our goal is to align ourselves with 10,000 like-minded people who understand the importance of getting our community into a space of being able to be economically sustainable and reach and shift the economic positioning of our community. So welcome, and this is our video to ensure that you understand the process, and you will be watching this as you are in the Parks and Rec group, and then at 6 p.m. tonight, there will be a survey that is dropped before you come into the big group and begin to engage in our community.
All right, so our mission as a SUSU, as Dr. Aset just spoke to, we are a collective of people who believe in economic growth and economic positioning of the Black community. We're probably going to get into some data later around how long the Black dollar stays in the Black community, and we want to be intentional to shift that. As we grow and learn, we understand that Black people have to start taking care of ourselves, protecting ourselves, and a big part of that is financial sustainability. And we're trying to shift generational curses, to be honest. So that's a part of our mission, our vision. We would contribute to the collective economic widespread shift together by gifting one another from 1 week to 3 months, with every person in our group moving together. We're going to get more in detail in that, but we are a gifting community. We believe in the currency of money and having intentions behind that. And we're going to dive deeper into it, taking you being gifted between 1 week and 3 months. I know some of you may have already been involved in other SUSUs. Our SUSU is a little different. With everyone gifting $1,350 one time, you walk away with $8,100 and you gift back $2,700. And we're also going to go into detail about that. And we also operate in a pool of fires, and we don't stack.
So who we are a collective of individuals who volunteer to participate in a group economic system. We are a collective dedicated to shifting our wealth positioning. We are a collective of individuals who fully accept the terms of participation in the SUSU. We are a collective of individuals who move together and understand we all are equally responsible. We are a collective of individuals who have a growth mindset for the state of our community. We are a collective of individuals that operate in transparency and integrity and support when an individual decides to gift out. Who we are not an investment group. So this is not an investment. You are gifting, and the intention is to gift. We believe in you reap what you sow. We are a sowing community. We sow first, and we are excited and in love gifting the people that we are gifting. We are not a pyramid scheme. There's not one person at the top. There is not any holder of the money. You gift exactly who you gift, and when you're gifted, all of those fires gift you. No one else touches the money. That is very intentional. This is not a pyramid scheme. This is not a quick get rich opportunity. If you are not patient, if you do not trust the process, if you do not honor that energy is what actually flows the currency of money, then this may not be for you. We are not a quick get rich scheme. We can absolutely move as fast as we bring in fires, and our goal is that because you're in Parks and Rec, that you are just as excited to be a part of this community as we are. We are also not micromanagers, so there is a responsibility for you too to also keep up. Our admin are all volunteers. No one gets paid here. There is no admin fee. We don't expect an admin fee. So we do ask that you carry your load as well, and you keep up with your circle, you keep up with your list. We are human. We are volunteering in between our jobs and our lives and families. So there might be something that you need to correct for us. All we do is report out, and we'll talk about that in communications. And the last thing is that no one owns or no one is in charge of a SUSU. Susu is collective economics. So we all play a part. Those of us who stepped in and stepped up to be admin, really it's just for the sustainability of the Susu, but we do not own it. We do not, we're not in charge of it. We do everything as a collective. We make decisions together. We do all of those things together. We just have volunteered to say we want to help with the sustainability.
So before moving on into this, as we move forward, it may be beneficial if you all take notes. So as you're watching this screencast or you're watching this Zoom, please take notes. And this helps us when we do have our live calls. You can come with your questions. And it also helps you just kind of retain information and you know exactly who to go to, who to talk to, and all of those things. So notes will be extremely beneficial, especially because at 6 p.m. every night, we will drop a survey. So tonight, after you watch this video at 6 p.m., you will be taking a survey before you get into the big Parks and Rec. And the reason why we started Parks and Rec, like Dr. Arcette said, we run as a collective and we have about 500 people in the big group. And that's a lot of communication that can happen. And we realized the breakdown was happening because there wasn't clear communication. People, and rightfully so, people had questions, people were confused about the process. Who do I talk to for this? Who do I go to for this? Parks and Recs is the place where you clarify and get those questions answered prior to going into that big space. So as you can see, it says watch Parks and Rec video on your own time. Parks and Rec will post a video at 6 p.m. every night and live call.
Survey.
I'm sorry, what did I say? Video.
Sorry.
Parks and Rec will post a survey every night at 6 p.m. and live calls will happen every night at 8 p.m. This is where you bring your questions. So after you've watched the video and you wrote down your notes and you've written down your questions, you bring those to Parks and Rec. And please make sure that you have watched the video. If you haven't watched the video, that live call puts us in a place of reteaching, and we don't want to be in that place. We really want to be answering clarifying questions.
All right, so just real quick, the history of Susu. Susu is a system of economic growth that is dated back into antiquity. Susu existed before money existed, okay? When our ancestors were still operating off of natural resources like gold, silver, copper, diamonds, all of the natural resources, Susu was a way of how we built empires. So if you think about the large empires of antiquity, there was a level of Susu that was happening to ensure that wealth was being grown within the community or within the village or whatever. Susu is also not just about the gift. It's not just about the money. In fact, that is the last thing about it. Susu in antiquity, it was understood that this is almost an initiation process of being able to operate in a village or in a community and be productive to the community, thinking outside of yourself. And so it is bigger than you, it is bigger than me, it is bigger than us, it is bigger, it is for the whole, and ensuring that generations to come are set up in positions in the right way. And so there is a lot of understanding around historically. This comes from our ancestors. Historically, this was happening before money. This was happening in order to build wealth, in order to build community, in order to build village. The first Black bank in America was started through a Susu, and it was the longest Black bank as well. I forget the woman's name, but the bank just closed in 2004. And so just know that Susu has been a part of who we are as Indigenous people forever before what we call Benjamins, right? And so that is very important. And there are energetic, spiritual, emotional, mental awakenings that happen when you are a part of a Susu. And that is the point, to make sure that you understand it is bigger than the gift. It is about, are you ready to align to shift the narrative for the world? And so you start with that. So everything in the Susu is intentional. Everything in life is intentional, right? And so being very clear about why you are in these positions and why you have attracted these positions, even why you are in this Parks and Rec and why you are excited to be a part of our SUSU, because we genuinely understand and trust the process that everyone who is here is supposed to be here. We're here because we're supposed to be here, and we want to exchange that with you. So the first position is fire position. Fire position is when entering the circle in the SUSU, fire represents the burning down of old mindsets, habits, and behaviors. Fire also represents the spark and igniting of a new mindset, habits, and behavior. This is why the element of fire is selected. So think of the phoenix rising. You have to go through some stuff in order to be able to rise to the top, right? And so understanding that you have to burn and rid yourself of individuality, of Eurocentric ideologies that take us away from who we are as Indigenous people. We have to burn and get rid of all of those bad habits, those bad ideas. More than anything, the fear relationship that we have with money. We also often think that there is not enough, and when there is an abundance of wealth for us all. We are the largest consumer on the planet. There are trillions of dollars within our community. The abundance of money is there for us. And so shifting our minds from being in a fear-based relationship with money to being in a love and attractive-based with money. And understanding that the Black dollar only stays in our community for 7 seconds. That's it. 7 seconds, right? And then it is projected that in 30 years, all of us will be alive in 30 years, God willing. In 30 years, we will be at zero for Black wealth. We have got to change that, and SUSU is the way to shift that trajectory.
All right, so if you aren't already taking notes, this is probably where you want to start taking notes. All right, and I'm probably throughout the video, we're gonna be like, that's a very key point, like please write that down. So this is a key point, okay? You give $13.50 when you're entering into the big group one time as a fire. So when you come into the big group, you are gifting someone that's in the water position, and we'll talk about that in a minute. You are gifting someone in the water position $13.50. So I'll back up a little bit. As a fire, and you'll see this in a second when we go to the next slide, there are 8 fires on a circle. All of those fires are gifting someone, that one person in the middle, and each fire is paying gifting $13.50 to that person. All right. After you do that, you are inviting 2 individuals that you trust. This is extremely important. Okay, that mindset is extremely important as we continue to move forward. You want to talk to like-minded people, people who understand village, people who understand currency, people who understand intention, people who understand we want to shift what the Black community and the Black dollar looks like. And you'll see our definition of gift on every slide. We won't read it every time, but please understand this is what we mean when we say gift. A gift is anything that you provide to someone in the spirit of gratitude to show that you value and appreciate who they are. A gift is also your talent and natural ability to provide and guide others with tools and skills they may need from you in the moment. A gift is you sowing what you reap.
All right, so we are going to show you how our process is. So remember at the top of this presentation, we said that our SUSU, we agreed to receiving $8,100 and gifting back into our SUSU $2,700. So we are going to really be clear and transparent here. You want to take a note right here for sure on this slide. So there are 8 fires, right? And 8 fires by $13.50 does equal $10,800. All right. When you are a part of our SUSU, to ensure sustainability, you agree that you will only receive $8,100, which is still a huge gift, and you are going to gift back into the SUSU $2,700. And we're going to explain how that works, because that regift can be you twice. So we'll explain that. So as you can see, there's Anna, Bob, Cam, Don, Ebony, Frank, Gia, and Hannah. These are the 8 fires. They are all going to, so A through D position are all going to water this one person. Position E and F, that fire will come in and actually go to the next circle. So that next circle is now Ebony and Frank in position A and B, right? that can be your name twice. So if you're like, I do want to receive 10-8, you put your name on here twice. And when you get to this circle, as you progress and you go to into the center, you will get that 1350. You just won't get it at the same time, right? And so that is to ensure the sustainability, because we don't want to create a susu that stalls, that isn't moving. And this ensures that we are creating the figure 8. If you know the infinity sign, and it just goes circle and circle and circle, that's what we're creating with our susu to ensure that we can continue to move forward. So you can put whatever names you want to go on the next circle, right? And it's still, and here's the piece that creates the sustainability. Those positions are still actual gifts of 1350. So you're in Parks and Rec right now, right? If you land in position E and F, you will stay, your name will stay on circle 1, but your actual gift goes to circle 2. And the name of whoever this position gives is what the name goes. So your name will stay here, your actual gift goes to the next circle. So we're always creating this level of sustainability. And so gift yourself twice. It could be you and your spouse, it could be you and your child, it could be you twice, it could be your mother and someone else, and then you're like, I'm gonna gift myself back in. You can do that however you want. We do strongly suggest that you take at least one of those positions. We strongly suggest that. That way, you're gifting 1351 time, and that's it. If you're like, I want to take more positions, you can absolutely do that. If you want to sponsor your other positions, you can absolutely do that. The only understanding that you agree to being in our susu is position E and F. Go to the next circle as actual gifts.
And before you move, positions H and G, those positions also gift you.
Yes.
So position. So we label all of our fires A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay. A, B, C, D gift you. H and G also gift you. E and F goes on the next circle. And that's when you multiply, that's 6 positions, A, B, C, D, H, and G, that's 6 positions. So if you multiply that times 1350, that's where you get that 8100 from. And if you multiply 1350 times 2, that E and F position, that's 2700. That's where you're re-gifting into the next circle.
Thank you for that. That's village, y'all. That accountability.
All right, so the second position, after you moved from your fire position, you are now being pushed into your second position, which is known as the wind and air. Air represents life and breathing. This is where you are able to bring life into the susu by inviting more fires. This is where you are consistent in applying your new mindset, habits, and behavior. This is why the element of air was chosen. All right, so you have to think, when you are in the air position, now it's time for you to turn back and help someone and invite them into the susu, because you're well on your way to being in the gift position. Okay, bringing more people in is how we keep the circle moving, and it's just really beneficial for our sustainability as a community.
So here you are going to connect with your admin and the collective of the big groups and the members on your circle. While you're being patient, you're connecting and sharing intentions to the collective, and you can send the energy that you need for your manifestation. Susu, again, is about more than the gifts. It's a mindset and a collective model that could aid in the foundation for communities. So you want to align with the Susu of everything besides the money, besides the bag. So make sure that you're sharing your intention. We want to know. We want to know what good you are going to do with your gift. We want to know, are you giving a scholarship? Are you opening a school? Are you getting out of debt? Whatever it is, we want to be able to support, send prayers, love, manifestation energy your way.
All right, so and I hope you all are still taking notes. So throughout this entire presentation, you see it at the top, we're gonna follow Ebony and Frank all the way to the water. We're gonna we walked you through them in the fire position, we walk you through them in the air position, and we're gonna do earth and water, right? So if you look at the first circle on your left, Ebony and Frank are now in the water.
Air.
Ebony and Frank are now in the air position. So you also see Carl and Dina, and these Harold, George, Frank, Fatima, and Eric, they were on a previous circle. All right, so when it split, this is where we land. Ebony is in air, Frank is in air, and we're gonna follow them all the way to the water position.
Once you are out of wind and air position, you go to earth. Third position on the circle. Earth represents nurturing and full contribution to the susu while preparing to receive. This is where you should be grounding yourself and learning that you deserve to be in this susu, and the susu also needs you. Appreciating your value and seeing how your contribution has helped many people. So by now you've given prayers, you've given manifestation energy. You may have seen something, may have been able to help folks. You may have been able to say, hey, I know about this particular product, or you could do whatever that is, but you've now become a contributing factor to the susu. And you need to get in the position to receive. Something within the Black community is that we often have been conditioned that we don't deserve and that we can't receive and we can't open up and be in abundance. This is where you are going to do that, because you are one position away from being watered, and you understand that you deserve to be where you are positioned.
So this is the same slide as before. As you're in the position of earth, people are going to ask, as she said earlier, what are your plans with this gift? And it's not to be nosy, so don't take it as people being nosy, trying to be in your business. The reason why is because we actually want to send that energy and those blessings to you. And another big part of that is when you say what your intentions are, you start to open up the susu bigger than financial and bigger than money. When you hear someone say, oh, I'm opening a performing arts school, or I'm opening a business to help Black children get out of foster care or get them out of the system, that person may very well be someone that you need to connect with. So you now start bridging this gap and building your network. So also think about it as a network opportunity. Now we all know what you're doing. And that person may be in a position like, oh, I absolutely know someone else who's doing this. Maybe you all can link. So that's not a be nosy or get in your business. Is really trying to build the capacity of the Black community. And we know, oh, I got somebody in Florida that's doing this. I got somebody in Utah that's doing this. I don't know how many Black people are in Utah, but it really just opens up the conversation for us to really start building that Black network.
Yes. So now Ebony and Frank are in their earth position. We just are showing you how that circle splits, and now Carl and Dina are also in earth position on a different circle. And next is water position. This is the last position on the circle. Water represents cleansing and rebirth. This is where you are able to see fully the wholeness of the susu, celebrating as other folks are being watered with you and creating the waves of upliftment and harmony. This is why the element of water is selected. Whatever the God of your understanding is, whatever your knowingness of a higher power, we all know that water represents cleansing, water represents baptismal, water represents all sorts of things that ensures that there is a cleansing and a coming of a new you. And that's what this susu should be doing for you as a whole person, not just your pocketbook or wallet.
I'll give you guys about 30 seconds to just read through this. I'll read it off the screen. Share your intentions with your circles. We're going to continue to say that. We're going to continue to ask you and push you to share your intentions with your circle and align all of that energy, love, prayers, and manifestation so that you can reap what you have sown when you were in the fire. Now bring in two fires. Now bring in more fires, because you are now a testimony of the susu. You now know, because from fire to air to earth, this is all by faith, by knowing, right? Now you're in the water position. You are now a true testimony, so you can now continue to tell people and share with people and your family and friends how this susu has been beneficial to you. And we don't want to hoard information and keep information solid. confined. We want to share this information with like-minded people. Again, this is another key note. If you haven't already taken this note, be prepared for positions E and F to re-gift on the next circle, which means their names will be attached, which means the names will be attached to them so that they can be fires on the next circle. We move as a collective. When we close, we all move. The more fires, the quicker we move.
So now Ebony and Frank have jumped into the water and they are making it rain. So just to recap how it works. Every person comes in as a fire with 1350. We close together all circles. We move together. Then you move to wind with 2 people behind you as fires. Because we work on a list and we don't stack, you can bring your fires in now with you. And so the only caveat to our list is that every person has to bring in 2. So that's how, and they do not follow you. It is not a stacking system. We work off of a list and we close together. As Earth, make sure you have multiple payment methods to gift and receive. We close together all the time. And as Water, make sure that you pay it forward. And that's what position E and F are for, to re-gift. We want to keep this sustainable and keep this alive as long as we can. And keep the Black dollar in our community longer than 7 seconds.
All right, so you're gonna see this ticket or this layout once you get in the big group, and we just kind of want to break down what this means and how to read it, and realistically, once you're in the position, how do you update these? So if you look at the top, you'll see these red circles. We run in circles, so that's why we have the red circles, and it's gonna say updated, okay? So as of July 5th, 2020, Rob is in the water. We use a little water drop emoji. That's how you know who is in the water. His Cash App information is Maxwell1031. His Apple Pay is his Apple Pay, and his Zelle is his cell number. All right, you are going to be asked to. This is what we mean when we say set up multiple payment methods. So if you have Cash App and only Cash App, we're going to ask that you go and try to find a few more methods of payment. Here's a few. We have PayPal, Google Pay, Apple Pay, Zelle, Cash App, Pop Money, and Venmo. Those are some of the most common ones that we see in the group. We use a little earth symbol. Purple Lily 2, that's the person in the earth symbol. Michael Williams is also in the earth position, okay? And then we move into our wind position. We use the wind emotion. So Dia Williams is in the wind position. Laura is also in the wind position. Keisha is in the wind position, and Dexter is also in the wind position. Then that last position for the fire emoji, you can guess, those are the people in the fire. So you'll see Derek Walker with a little gift next to it. He has sent his gift. Sean P., that person has sent their gift. Bernard Burks, they sent their gift. Rob Brown, sponsor. Okay, that means that relationship that Rob Brown, which is clearly himself or his son or brother, father, whatever, but that person has a relationship with the person in the water, and they have agreed to work out that sponsorship. That sponsorship has nothing to do with admin. Okay, if you want to sponsor someone on your circle and you agree to take or receive less money at that time, that's fine. Or whatever agreement you work out with that person, that's between y'all. That has nothing to do with admin. Joe Dixon and Kay Bryce are also sponsor positions. And then you see these 2 gifts that are empty, and you'll see it at the bottom, 2 fires needed. That we need 2 fires for this circle to close out.
All right, polls and calls. You will see polls pop up in the big group that we need you to take. Polls are taken to ensure that we are working in a collective. Again, no one owns the Susu. No one is over the Susu. We make decisions together, and we make decisions for productivity, and we want to hear your voice. And so a lot of the shifts that need to happen will be because of voices being elevated and raised, and admin saying, let's take a poll and let's figure this out. Also the calls. You are right now watching a video of Parks and Rec. There is also an intro video, and we also do Q&A calls. And so those Q&A calls happen at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please make sure that you are a part of those. That's where you ask your questions, you get live feedback, and you're able to move and get full understanding. The calls are also, if they're going to develop into, how do we want to invest together? How do we want to move together? How do we want to do things together so that we're susuing this entire community? It makes us a stronger team. So please participate in the polls. Please participate in the calls.
You can go through this one.
And with communication is huge for a susu, okay? It's huge. So who do you ask when you need something? The first thing, as a member of the susu, we ask that you ask questions in love, patience, and understanding. Admin are all volunteer positions, and we are stepping in and stepping up to maintain the functionality of our susu. Relationships between positions and the water, all we do is post. All we do is report out what water positions are giving us. So please know that we are not involved in every single exchange. We are not doing any of that. And again, we are volunteers. So please be cautious of tone and making sure that you understand the appreciation of the work that it takes to sustain the susu. So here's a list of all of our people who are official admin people. We do have folks in our group who are not actual admin, but they're very active members who will also answer questions. You can do that as well, because this, again, no one owns this, and we all carry our own weight.
And we want to, one, I would suggest that you all pause the video and kind of write these names down or screenshot these names just so you know who to go to directly. The reason why I say that, because if you go to Misha about Parks and Rec, she's going to direct you to come talk to us. If you come to us about circles and updates, we're going to direct you to Tamisha. So to save everyone time and energy, this list is going to be really important so that you know if something comes up, if you have a question, this is the person that you need to speak with. We also ask that in communication, to make it a lot easier, we're in education, so we believe in ask three before you ask me, right? Like, that's also a way to build community. If you have a question, the first person you need to go to get that question answered is the person who introduced you to the susu. Okay, if that person can't answer your question, then you can move on to someone who's in this Parks and Rec cohort with you. So people are coming into this cohort with you. There may be 10, 15, 20 people. Pay attention to who's on the live call. That may be someone that you can reach out to. Like, okay, this person asked this question, or they seem like they really have a great understanding. I may need to reach out to them. That's the second person you go to. If that person is not able to answer your question, then you come to admin and you have your list, whatever that question is. If it's about Parks and Recs, if it's about gift out updates, you have this list now and you can go directly to that. The reason why we want you to address admin last is because admin is having so many different things happening at once. It'll make it a lot easier if we could communicate with our village prior to coming to admin.
And so the ask three before me, the first person you should ask is yourself. We have resources that are in the media file. All of this information they are in PDF files in the media file within the Telegram app. So go to media, go to videos, go watch and ask yourself first. The second person you should ask is the person who introduced you to the group. Third person is someone in Parks and Rec with you, and then come to admin. And again, just to ditto everything that Dr. Park said. We do not tolerate hurtful energy to one another in our groups. We will mute you. All right, we will mute you for a day if necessary, because we are very protective of our peace of the susu, and we encourage you to do the same thing, be protective of your peace. There are subgroups for different lists, and this is to ensure if we coordinate fires together, we can keep up with where you are, and it's better management of the circles. There's an update only group where no one can make comments, but you will be added to that group so you can constantly see. In the search bar, just search your name and you should be able to find yourself. And then there's the big group. That's where we communicate news, announcements, questions, general conversation, business share support, bringing in fires, celebrations, and check-ins. And we try to, on behalf of Parks and Rec, we try to do one update, kind of a brief every day, and just saying, hey, this is where we're at. This is how many fires we need. Let's add our fires. This is when we're doing something. And so we really try to make sure, if you see one of us posting, it's on behalf of both of us. And so just know that we are really, really trying to ensure that for the front end of things in the SUSU, we are constantly in communication daily.
You want to do this?
Yeah. So our gift out policy. Gift out is when someone wants to actually no longer participate in our SUSU. Let me be very clear. Admin has nothing to do with gifting out. It is not our responsibility. We do not do anything of giving your gift back to you. We have no responsibility in that. However, we have created something that the community, that the rest of the SUSU can actually help you with gifting out. So the first thing is that you will have, if you want to gift out, you have 24 hours to post in the big group that your position is what you want to gift out. So someone can come who's already in the group can say, if you're in earth position, and earth position is a sweet spot. If you're in earth position and you want to get out of the SUSU, you can say, hey, I have the earth position available. If anybody wants to gift me out, please contact me. If someone says, I want your earth position, you're crazy for not wanting your own earth position, I'm going to take it. They can give you $13.50 and take that position on the circle. And then you are out of the group. If that happens within 24 hours, admin has absolutely nothing to do with that. You both will communicate to us as admin on who needs to be positioned and who needs to be removed, but we have nothing to do with the exchange. Again, admin never, ever, ever touches money. If you're unable to find someone to gift you out within 24 hours, you will gracefully be removed from the SUSU and be placed in the gift out group. All right, and when you're placed in the gift out group, it's to ensure, again, protecting the peace of the SUSU and that the energy is sustained in how we want to operate within our SUSU. We will create on the list, so your name will now say, it will be wherever your name was placed on the circle. We will let it be known that that position is available, so anybody in the group can see it. And if they want it, they can gift you out. We keep you in the gift out group to ensure if someone says, hey, I want this position, that we can get you in contact with that person directly, right? And so and again, we don't have anything to do with it. We just help with the facilitation of communication. And with that list, members can always see and always come in. Again, admin is not responsible in any way for any of your gift outs. If you are someone who is like, oh, I see that, I'm a member and I see that position and I want that position, it is your responsibility to post to the big group that you're interested in this position. This is to make sure someone is not getting gifted twice. And this is to ensure that as you're saying, I'm taking this position, that you are not gifting someone before or after someone has already done so, right? And so make the announcement that you want to do that before you actually do it, and then inform admin, and we will follow up for accountability to make sure that that position is still available. Before you send the gift, please make sure that you do that, because we want to ensure no one is getting more gifting out than they actually needed to have. Then you come back to the group once we say, yep, that position is available. Then you come back to the group, you celebrate that person, and you celebrate that you now have another position. Sponsorship is also solely the responsibility between the water and fire. Admin has nothing to do with how you sponsor, what you sponsor. There are various ways to sponsor. You can say, you can have this fire position on my circle. You don't have to give me $13.50, but when you get to the water position, give me $13.50 then. You can say, you don't have to give me $13.50 now. I want half of your water. You can do whatever you agree to. You can say, I just want to give you $13.50 and you take all of your waters. However you decide to do that, that is your business. That has nothing to do with admin. There is no designated time frame for our circles to close. We can move as quickly as 7 days. We can move as long as 3 months. It depends on how we move collectively. So if you want to see us move fast, bring more fires. If you're saying I'm not going to bring in 2, just know that you are contributing to us not moving fast. So we need more fires. We need more fires. We need more fires. So just remember that fires are the answer to us moving fast.
All right, so you're gonna hear us talk about, even in a big group, you're gonna hear, even on the survey tonight that you'll take at 6 p.m., you'll also hear us constantly say or use the term sustainability, right? We wanna make sure that we're sustainable. You can join in as many times as you want. That is a part of the sustainability. If you're joining back in multiple times, like, you are contributing to that fire list and you are helping us move through these circles. All right, so please join in as many times as you want. Don't be afraid to share the information. Like, do not hoard the information, and be very mindful of the people you introduce to the SUSU, because we need like-minded people. We need people to understand village, currency, money, energy, all of those things. Like, that has to be a big part of the people that you introduce into the SUSU. And before I go on, I want to say, don't post this on social media. All right, we never post on social media. When you start to post on social media, it brings a different type of energy into the group. It brings a different access to the group, and that we realize, like, even though, like, you may think like, oh, that's the quickest way to do it, that actually slows down the process, because it's so many people who don't fully understand the process of SUSU, and they're looking at it from like, oh, I could just run my bank up, I could just run a checkup, and that's really detrimental to how SUSU work. So please have conversations with people before inviting them into the SUSU. You can also re-enter in both of your E and F positions. So on that circle, again, both E and F can be you on the next circle. Or it could be you and your spouse. It could be you and your child. It could be you and your brother, you and your sister, you and your mom. It doesn't matter. And those 2 positions are vital to us sustaining and being able to continue to move through without having stalls or shutdowns or no circles moving. And then the last part is, again, like we've been saying, please bring people that you trust, like your family and your friends, and have a conversation prior to even bringing them to Parks and Rec.
And I just want to also give a little bit more clarity even on gift out process. If you decide to be gifted out and your position is not, and no one does get your position, and your position reaches water, you will not be watered. You will be given back what you asked for, your $13.50, and those other waters that would, those other fires that would have been watering you, we will be sponsoring folks in who do want to be in our SUSU. So we believe in reaping what you sow. And if you sow into the community that you no longer want to be a part of it, we will ensure that if your position reaches water, you will get your $13.50 back, because that's what you sowed into. So please understand that if you choose to gift out, if your position gets to water, you will not get that water, all of those 6 positions. You will get what you asked for, which is your $13.50 gift back. And then those other 5 positions, we gift to people who actually do want to be in our SUSU. So quick frequently asked questions. We move fast with fires. We need fires. Bring fires, bring fires, bring fires. We move in a collective. Once all circles split in the cohort, we move together. This is tax-free, up to $15,000 for one individual in 1 year. No one person will give you $15,000. That is the protection of the list and not stacking. So ensuring that the list is always there, that ensures that no one is giving you $15,000. You can view the tax guidelines on the IRS website, publication 559. Please make sure that you have more than one payment option. And again, remember, no one owns or is in charge of a SUSU. We do this collective.
All right, so again, we're just gonna run it back. Parks and Rec, you're watching this video on your own time. We will post a survey at the end of every night at 6 p.m. We also will have live calls every night at 8 p.m. So even if you see something on the survey that didn't make sense or the question didn't make sense, you can bring those questions to the call at 8 p.m. every night. And make sure that you have watched the video. Again, if you haven't watched the video and you come to the live calls, one, we're going to redirect you to go watch the call. And two, that just kind of slows down the process. And this is that part of that ownership that we spoke to earlier. Part of your ownership as a fire is to actually learn how the SUSU works. If you have questions, absolutely bring those questions forward. But we have to be self-sufficient and self-educate as well. There are resources in the Telegram app. There are things you can read that'll 9 times out of 10 answer your questions. If you still are unclear, please bring those questions to the live call.
And please know that the survey ensures safety and protection. We want to make sure there's no fraud going on. We want to make sure that we're tracking everything. We want to make sure that you are being held accountable to how we all engage. And so completing the survey ensures that you're going into the group clear and understanding of how you're supposed to show up. So that is all of Parks and Rec. We thank you for being on the call with us. We thank you for sharing this video. We thank you for doing this on your own time. And the survey will be posted at 6 p.m. Eastern time.
All right. Thank y'all. Have a good one.